time for Wingin' It Wednesday mornings with Carol Ross, Warren Caudle, both of them joining us in studio this morning. Well, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bernie.
How are y'all doing this morning? Great.
Doing well. Where's our cohort?
He ran away.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here's the thing. They make us work. You got to do work around here. We're like, really? It's radio, man.
No, this is fun. Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, so he's got to take care of some stuff for a little while. So it gets to be just the three of us. Yes, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Let's just hope he doesn't ram his car into the studio. Okay, that was kind of dark, wasn't it? Okay, so we got a lot of topics this morning. And we're going to try to behave because, Rob keeps us, all three of us, in line. So
he does?
Yeah. Doesn't he? Right? Or is that just the lie we tell ourselves in this studio? All right, look, if you want to get involved with Wingin' It Wednesday, you like what the panelists are saying, you don't like what the panelists are saying, during this process, we do take calls, 232-1542, 232-1542. So if you listen to the Democrats, they say, the healthcare thing, it's over, it's done. Now Trump is saying, you know what? We need to just repeal it. And then there are others who are saying, let's repeal it and work on it for 2 years and get an actual plan together. So I want to know what the two of you are thinking. Carol, let's start with you. What do we do? Where do we go from this point?
Well, for all those folks who thought the ladies would do a better job in Congress, look at the three ladies who just pulled the rug out. Let me think. Susan Collins has been consistent. Absolutely. Norman, she's been consistent. She's been against it. She voted against the 2015 bill. But look at the other two, Shelley Moore Capito and Lisa Murkowski. They voted for that 2015 bill. So how weaselly are they? They're doubly weaselly because they voted for that. I'm sorry. And all of those guys, they're a bunch of I'm sorry, that's the only word I can think of to think of how cynical and hypocritical they were to vote all those times to repeal Obamacare, knowing full well that Mr. Obama, sitting in the White House, would veto it. No skin off our back. We can go home and grandstand to the
game
to the mullets at home and tell them, we voted to repeal Obamacare, but we don't have the White House now. We gave them the House, we gave them the Senate, then they needed the White House. We gave them the White House. Trump has said over and over again, I'm sitting with pen in hand, waiting for that bill to get here. And I've heard people excoriate him. He needs to get out and sell it. What, like Obama did, lie about it? He doesn't have a product to sell. What product does he have to sell? Has no idea what he's going to get out there and sell. And he's a little more honest, I believe, than the prior occupant of the White House. So the prior occupant who went out and said, you can keep your doctor, your health care plan, you're going to save $2,500, blah, 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 blah. No. And what is also coming clear, and how many times have you heard me say it, Bernie, until you're probably sick of hearing me saying it, the Republicans don't want to give up those taxes either. That's the dirty little secret. They don't want to give up the power, they don't want to give up the control, and they don't want to give up the taxes. But if you just heard Rush, they've done a study, and now our health care is as dismally poor as the health care in Rwanda. Oh, no, excuse me. That's unfair to Rwanda. We're worse than Rwanda.
Whoa, wow.
So, but you have nowhere to go but up. And Bill Cassidy. That's all I can say without turning the air blue.
Whoa. She's on it this morning. She's on fire.
They've got to get something done. They promised for 7.5 years to get something done. They're not getting anything done. And furthermore, they're trying to undermine Trump. There is no question about that. Every one of them wants to undermine Trump. He's trying to clean it up. For better or worse, he's not the perfect candidate. He never was. He never will be. There is no animal such as that. He is a disruptor, and if any place needs disrupting, it's that cesspool. It's worse than a swamp. It's a cesspool.
All right, Warren, agree, disagree, in between? What do you think?
I mean, talking bad about her candidate, Bill Cassidy, and although I don't think Carol was really a big fan of his anyway.
That would be a no.
Yeah.
But we held our nose, right?
Well, I don't know that I held my nose.
Maybe you didn't, Warren.
I couldn't stand him. As soon as I found out that he was so anti-Ronald Reagan back in 1988 and was pushing for Michael Dukakis and all that, give me a break. Lisa Murkowski, let's go back just a little bit. And how did we wind up with Lisa Murkowski? We talk about Republicans and this, that, and other, and that they basically interfered in that Alaska election whenever she got defeated, and then she turned around and came back and ran as an independent against a conservative Republican. The National Republican Group did what we've always accused the Democrats in Washington of doing, and that is saying, we know better what's good for you than you know, so we're going to call the shots. So they said, well, no, he's not going to be good for Alaska, so they sent people up there campaigning door to door for Lisa Murkowski. They poured money in there for her, on and on and on, and so she wound up winning by just a
hair.
small margin. But she got reelected. It was the exact same thing that happened here with when the Republicans decided that they were going to choose the next senator, and that was Woody Jenkins, and they jumped in and endorsed him and all that stuff in January, which came down to the runoff, between him and Mary Landrieu. And I still think that he probably actually won the election, but because of the fraudulent votes and all that in New Orleans, she wound up winning by just a handful of votes. Then it turns around when she ran for re-election against one of the most honorable men who ever served in Washington from this state, was Dr. John Cooksey. Karl Rove and that bunch got involved with it, said, that we couldn't have Cooksey as our U.S. senator. So they got the world-famous, what's her name, Susie Hike Terrell, and she says, I was not going to run until my president, George W. Bush, called me and asked me to run. And they turned around then and poured money into her campaign and sabotaged Cooksey. So we wound up with Mary Landrieu again. So then we come down on the fourth go-round for Mary, is when the former Democrat, the former big-time liberal, Dr. Bill Cassidy, who had given Mary Landrieu $2,000 or $2,500 when she ran against Cooksey, and so he comes out and he winds up defeating her. And I know a lot of people who wound up voting for Mary because they said if she leaves, then, she goes on full retirement. He goes into that place. Is there going to be any difference in those two? Probably not. And we're sitting there looking at it today. What's the answer? Probably not. But, the health care thing, I think Trump is right, Back up. It's not my bill, your bill. Do what you can.
All right. We have a caller patiently waiting on the line this morning. Caller, would you like to weigh in on the issue, please?
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is you have Democrats and Republicans, and it's two piles of the same crap, and all 535 pieces of it needs to be replaced.
Okay, all right. Well, I
don't want to say all 135 because there are some new guys. There are some guys in the Freedom Caucus and some of the senators that are really pushing for a real repeal. I don't want to throw them out with the bathwater, but I do think that we do need a few strong changes. I agree with you there.
Changes.
Go ahead, caller.
We need some big changes.
Big changes is right.
You keep doing the same thing you've always done, you'll get the same result that you've always got.
Isn't that the truth? And we keep allowing them to do it. I mean, we really. If this doesn't get people motivated, I don't know what will. I mean, we've been lied to so much, and this time it's really brazen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is kind of segueing beautifully into the next question, which is, do Republicans in Washington, D.C., do they need new leadership? Is there somebody that could help with these situations? All right, Warren, why don't you go first on this one?
The question is, do they need new leadership? And my answer is no. What they need is leadership. They have none now. That Paul Ryan, give me a break. Paul Ryan's wife is a big-time fundraiser for the liberal Democrats, was a Hillary Clinton supporter. He's the Republican Speaker of the House. He's a leader. He's the one who came out vehemently opposed to Donald Trump. And that, he needs to leave on a rail. Which is what they used to do. Put them on a boxcar and send them out of town. And he needs to take Mitch McConnell with him. And that, if a decent Republican had run against Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, I think they would have defeated him. But he is just, both of those two, I mean, my God Almighty, they almost make Harry Reid look human. It's I mean, at least I will say this: Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, they went in there and fought for what they believed in. Although I disagree with everything they believed in, but these two, they just they're an energized version of Lamar Alexander. That's the most I can say. Now
that's really damning with not so faint praise.
All right, we're going to switch to Carol now and her point of view. But if you'd like to call into the show, you can call in with your thoughts too. 232-1542, 232-1542. Carol.
Now, what's the goal of leadership? The goal of leadership is to inspire followership, right? If you don't have leadership, you can't inspire followership.
Cool.
We need both of those in Washington, D.C. As Pat Caudle, the famous pollster, I love Pat Caudle. He's a Democrat, but he talks it like it is, and he says, okay, what you got is you got your choice of the corrupt party, the Democrats, or the stupid party, the Republicans. How in heaven's name can we win? The Republicans had to know when Trump was elected, they had all of that time. They had virtually almost 3 months to get in there and hammer out the bill that was going to get passed before they allowed it to fester like an open wound, which is what's happening now. It's festering like an open wound, and they're just giving the enemies to any kind of reform time to mount this defense. They're getting these people, paid protesters, I think, in a lot of cases, going to these meetings who have nobody knows what the hell is in the bill. It hasn't been ever gotten into a final form yet that anybody could they can't even get the votes to get it to a vote. They can't even get a vote to get it to a vote. Do you hear my frustration? You must hear my frustration. I'm so sick of all of them posturing and lying to us. And now the veil is lifted. For most people who aren't really paying attention, the veil is lifted that those weaselly Republicans are letting us down again. Why should first rule of politics, do not PO your base. And that's what they're doing. The moderates, the independents can go either way. Demonstrate to them that they're not ideological. Demonstrate to them that something's going to work. They'll come with you. We haven't given them anything to support. And we've aggravated the base to such an extent, I don't think a lot of those guys can get reelected. The moderates, I think the conservative base is going to get out there and really pull all the stops out this time.
Wow. You guys, I love when y'all get it. You have a response. You look like you're about to.
Yeah,
this is my party. This is the Republican Party, which I'm so close to getting out of it, but I'm not. I'm going to stick in there. Like Reagan, just hang in there. They bounced him out. Right? I'm going to stick in there and fight with them.
Rule number one in politics, it has been said over and over, is don't prove your negatives. And that's exactly what they're doing. That the people have said over and over and over, there's no difference in you two. You're going to lie to me just as much as the others are. You're going to tell me one thing and do something else. And now they go up there and do exactly that. And then they're going to come back and say, well, I tried. Oh, yeah, really? They don't even have enough imagination to use Nancy Pelosi's term. Well, you have to pass it in order to see what's in it.
Oh, my
God.
I'm going to resurrect my old Meghan Trainor parody. You just betrayed the base.
Yeah, you should this afternoon. Carol's got her show from 2 to 4.
If I can find it.
You should. This should happen. All right, it is 7:32 here at KPEL Wingin' It Wednesday, brought to you by Service Chevrolet and Service Cadillac, 1212 Ambassador Caffrey, home to great vehicles. Whether you are looking for a truck, maybe a Cadillac Escalade, you'll find great deals right now, beautiful vehicles, and service is in the name. Service Cadillac. You can check them out at 1212 Ambassador Caffrey, and they're a sponsor here of Wingin' It Wednesday. We come back with more topics on the way. There is never a dull moment in this room because I'm not allowing that to happen. These two people in here, I got to tell you, Warren Caudle, Carol Ross, This is the fun group of people. So Rob is going to join us.
So even curmudgeons can have fun.
That's right. So, we always talk during the breaks. There's a run for water. There's a run for coffee, Somebody else is like, hey, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so. And then we get to talking amongst ourselves.
Then we all get diverted by Moon.
Yeah, it's all Moon's fault. We're blaming him.
We blame Moon all the time.
Yeah, let's blame Moon. I mean, it just works out well. He takes it, so why not? All right, so one thing we all in this room can agree on is everybody in this room loves to eat. And look, when you go to eatlafayette.com, you can find a great restaurant and great specials and deals right now. Eat Lafayette going on from now through September. Eat Lafayette anywhere, too, because you can get a meal from your favorite Eat Lafayette restaurant, and they'll deliver it right to you. Are you at the office? No problem. Get the Waiter app and they'll deliver it to you. Are you at home? Same thing. You might even be at somebody else's house and you don't like their food. Use the Waiter app. Go to
Then
Eat
you shouldn't
Lafayette.
have been there in the first place.
That's right. Eat Lafayette by Lafayette Travel, delivered by Waiter. The official bank is JD Bank. That actually, we've heard stories of that. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Like my parents were in the first time in Lafayette many years ago, and our friend said, "Oh, I'm going to make etouffee." So Ron went in the kitchen, and Ron was a great cook at the time, and still is. He goes in the kitchen, he sees her putting ketchup in the etouffee.
Oh,
said, what are you doing? Oh yeah, it makes it. Oh my God! So afterwards, he didn't say anything, of course, being polite. Afterwards, he told my parents, "I'll make you some etouffee, some real etouffee."
What person decides to put ketchup in that?
It was a long time ago, and bless her heart, she's no longer with us.
Oh, darling.
I don't think it had anything to do with the ketchup in the etouffee. That is a true story.
And that's why people don't eat at my house.
You don't put ketchup in your etouffee.
I was teasing. All right, so we're winging it here on Winging It Wednesday. If you'd like to get involved, 232-1542, 232-1542. All right, our next topic for our panelists, and of course for you, the listener, what do you think about New Orleans and what's going on with crime? Is Jeff Landry right? Saying we need more involvement. He was even talking earlier this week about how he offered, help to the city of New Orleans and they turned him down. But now there's a story on the Associated Press this morning that says everybody's rallying together, like sheriff's departments down there and state police, but weren't they already doing that? So I don't know. This is for the panelists and for listeners. Again, 232-1542. Carol, I'm going to start with you on this topic.
Everybody's rallying together in what way?
That they're going to, the couple sheriff's deputies are going to go from this force or this police department.
And they weren't doing this before, and that is a failure of leadership. If they were not if this was not being done before, because the word is that, Mitch Landrieu said he didn't need any help. Well, hello, my friend. I believe you need a lot of help. And many of the candidates, now they have 18 candidates. Clancy Dubose, right as usual, starts out by saying, well, it looks like a quiet election season. Hardly anybody's interested in the mayor's race. Boom, 18 people have signed up. And I think the inside, I would say the inside favorite is Desiree Charbonnet, because of her family name and all that, and because she's saying the right things, that she will not turn down help from anybody. Whoever wants to help get the crime situation under control is going to, have a welcoming place in New Orleans. There were times when the state police used to patrol the French Quarter.
Now, they are still, state police does once again have a presence
they do?
In New Orleans. Yes, they do again.
Because I remember at one time they were kind of unceremoniously disinvited or because of budget cuts were taken out of the French Quarter. And here is the thing. If your main tourist area, what is New Orleans'
it's number
major business? It's tourism. I mean, they have a lot of other businesses down there, but tourism is the thing that most people see. It is the reputation of the city all over the world. And who's getting hurt? The tourists in the main areas. I mean, what is wrong with these people? You keep that area as safe as can be and don't let those thugs get out of control. But number one problem, sanctuary cities. If the thugs know they're going to have sanctuary, if they're illegal or even not. I mean, if they know it's a sanctuary city, why wouldn't they go there? And a lot of the activity down there is drug and gang related. So come on, people. It starts right there. Don't declare yourself defiantly in Washington, D.C., a sanctuary city because you want to position yourself on the national stage. Mitch. Rhymes with.
All righty, we're going to go turn to a caller who's been waiting patiently. Caller, you are up. What do you think?
Good morning. Carol, you're wrong according to what you said about failure of leadership in New Orleans, at least according to King Edward II, who is no relation to King Edward I. The real law of failure of leadership is in the House with Senator Mr. Barra.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Blame Mr. Barra. Mm-hmm. He has
just kick at him. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll enjoy all of you.
Oh,
right,
thank you. Thanks for that little bit of levity. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, we did get the sarcasm.
Oh, did you? Yes. Oh, no, yes. I got it, too. I thought you were saying something else.
No.
Okay. Warren, it is your turn. New Orleans, the crime, Mitch Landrieu, Jeff Landry. What should we be doing?
We shouldn't be doing anything. On a serious note, and it comes kind of under the category of who's going to say it if I don't, is that there's an old saying that says you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And that you keep hearing this thing about we need to do something, they need to do something about clearing up the crime problem in New Orleans. And I have to tell you this, that Mitch Landrieu and most of that group over there don't want to clear up the crime problem in New Orleans because the crime problem in New Orleans is what put them in power. And it's what keeps them in power. And it's what they enjoy over there. And that, as long as their families are protected, their wealth is protected, to hell with everybody else. And that I said it here not too long ago where a former member of the state police who had worked over there for a long time said that the New Orleans Police Department is probably the most corrupt police department in the world. And that all you have to do is go back to Hurricane Katrina and look at what you saw there, where they rode around there, the thugs rode around there with Uzis stuck out the windows of the car or whatever, just daring the police, anybody. The police were protecting them. And then you had the people looting the stores where the police are in there looting the stores with them. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't think that anybody in New Orleans wants to correct any. I mean, the most of the citizens do, I do believe. Mm-hmm. The people who work for a living, the shop owners and all that. But the administration and such stuff over there, the politics of it, I don't think they could care less about trying to straighten it up because
Lauren,
that's where the
right.
power is.
Because if it hadn't been for those videos, those graphic videos that everyone saw, I think that this problem has kind of flown under the radar for a long time with a lot of people. And then we finally saw those awful videos. Two guys coming from a church conference at 9:30 in the evening and just beaten.
I agree that there's a lot of sentiment toward changing it. My point is, I don't think that the people in power
there's a will to
really care.
That's our major city. Let me tell you, if our major city goes down, and we're
knew
number
this
two
for
years
tourism.
and years
That's
and
the
years
problem.
ago. Exactly.
Lafayette is number two destination. So if they go to New Orleans, typically,
and a lot of them they piggyback Acadiana
They will
to that, and that is why. Not only that, but when your major delegation in the legislature is from a third world country. Excuse me, I said it, like New Orleans. If your major delegation is voting in those ways, again, I got a little primer from somebody who knew, the time program and all the people complaining about where all that money went. Majority of it went to New Orleans. Didn't help the rest of the state. And that's why you can't get anything done now, that people are so cynical about it. The only way I think you're going to get any kind of increase in gas taxes now is to do, this is kind of off topic, but I heard Sean Wilson, Dr. Wilson, who is head of DOTD, say there are 4 major projects. Now, if you don't pass this gas tax, I can maintain the roads or I can do the 4 major projects, but I can't do both. So the gas tax didn't pass, and so he says, I guess by his own admission, he's going to maintain the roads. And I say, you want to pass a gas tax? Put those 4 major projects specifically on the ballot, specifically named, with specific instructions, and maybe you'll get that. but it has to be spread around. And I understand one was here, the I-49 connector. Another was in Shreveport. I think one was in Baton Rouge. One is in New Orleans. Those are 4 that have been identified. Do those. And then, let us see if you can build up trust in the people and see if we can go from there.
But, some of these projects that they work on, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that at this point?
Yeah.
Go to Morgan City and look what they're doing over there, where they're building all of these turn-throughs between Patterson and Morgan City. Mm-hmm. It's like redesigning the entire road when that entire road is supposed to be turned into an interstate.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And how many times have we seen that where there's one place out here between here and New Iberia, maybe it's the other side of New Iberia, I don't know, where they went in there and they built a cellular tower between the roads. Then they turned around and took the bridges down and put 2 more bridges in and moved the tower, 200 feet or whatever. I
don't understand how they do
You just keep doing this stuff over and over and over, just like up there on, what is it up there, Camellia Boulevard and Johnson Street. How many times has that intersection been reworked? I would just like to know how much money was spent on that thing.
Oh, Camellia, how many times have they redone Camellia? I know we're kind of off the topic
that's okay
here, but
that's just kind of the natural progression of it. So
so we had a call.
We do. We'll go to this person. Sorry. Gotta have patience for us. That person's probably like, hey, I gotta go to work.
But I thought Jeff Landry really kind of laid it out. I mean, he's ready to help, and he was pretty much. No, we don't need you.
Yeah.
We got a problem when your major delegation in the legislature is from New Orleans. I'm sorry, it hurts the rest of the state.
We need us an advertising slogan in Acadiana that says Acadiana is not New Orleans.
Well,
come here.
My husband, many, many years ago, I think he was the first one I ever heard say that the only problem we have in Lafayette is that we're in Louisiana.
Coming up now on 7:49, we have to take we'll go to this call real quick because they were so nice to call back. Hi, caller. You have time? Go ahead.
Yes. It seems to me they're always saying about how you're going crazy when you do the same things over and over again. Well, you look at all the mass incarceration in Louisiana. I thought we were supposed to be safe with all this mass incarceration. I think what's happening is people are taking revenge after they've been wrongfully imprisoned. They're taking revenge when they're getting out. They don't buy that thing like, it's going to be so bad for me in jail, I'll never go back again. No, what they've done is they're being wrong. Then when they get out, they do something even worse just despite the system because the system is so corrupt over here.
Okay.
Good point.
Thank you.
Thank you for your thoughts this morning. All right. And thank you for their patience. We will come back. We've got one final topic this morning for our Wingin' It Wednesday panelists, and we can get folks involved in that too. 232-1542. 232-1542. So what do y'all think about these changes with Mardi Gras? We'll give the audience a heads up if they didn't hear what we were talking about on Monday about, there have been a couple changes. So what does it mean? We also had an interview about it yesterday. And then we'll get our thoughts from the panelists, and you guys can weigh in too. Coming up now on 7:51. Wingin' It Wednesday, back on KPEL. Just a few minutes left, so we'll try to get to this topic. Warren, Caudle, Carol, Ross joining us. All right, so they're changing things up with Mardi Gras a little bit. So, for years it was, there's too much in the Monday night parade, so let's do it and break off onto a Friday night, and then we'll do Friday and the Monday, and we'll have, different that. And then, things have changed over the years with crew membership. The economy down a little bit, so they're going to move the kickoff Friday parade, as they kind of called it, for the Mardi Gras weekend. They're going to have those folks have agreed they're all going to ride on Monday night. So the question is, what do you think of the changes? Does it save us some money because at least, there's not additional security there? What would you guys do? Warren, you want to talk real quick on that?
To be perfectly honest, I really don't know because I don't participate in too many of the Mardi Gras parades and all that stuff. That I think what they, I think you probably ought to have the thing on Friday night so that you got the people there for the weekend and such stuff to enjoy it and to spend money and whatever. That that Mardi Gras parades is generally a place where you have a lot of fun and revelry and act a little bit crazy and. I know that they've said over and over, again, we're not going to allow the women to say, to do their little thing about throw me something, mister. And that was kind of the highlight of Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And so we're trying to say, well, we don't allow that stuff here in Lafayette, but yet we want to be like New Orleans. So it's a double-edged sword. I will say this, that the one thing that does irritate me somewhat about Mardi Gras is to be going down the road and all at once that the traffic gets blocked for some limousine to run through the traffic light and all that with 4 sheriff's cars and 3 Lafayette police cars.
Oh, come on, Warren.
Is that,
it's
the people
Mardi Gras.
It's Mardi Gras, but there's also people out there who are working for a living who are trying to get from one place to another. And I will tell you this, I
guarantee you the phone lines are going to be hung up.
That's all right. I've been just as upset, too, one time whenever I was on my way back home and got stopped up there at Cali Saloon. I thought there was a major accident, but it was George H.W. Bush in town going out to sign his ill-fated energy bill at a dry hole south of town. Mm-hmm. And I was just as upset over around Bell Chase at different times whenever we get roadblocked because Bill Clinton was
visiting.
Yeah, visiting, and they would always land at Bell Chase Naval Air Station and then motorcade into the city or whatever. And it just tied up everything. When you're doing it for private groups, funerals are one thing, but
Come on, Warren, it's Mardi Gras.
Carol, your thoughts?
Well, you can get drunk and party, but you don't have to inconvenience other people.
Let me tell you what, I have noticed that there were fewer floats, and a lot of people have said they were disappointed in the independent parade, and some folks said it was too expensive, so to cut back the entry fee on the independent parade. But what I would do is, I know I'm spoiled. Seen Carnival in Rio, it's like, that'll spoil you forever. Mm-hmm. But if I had any clout on this, I would have a blowout weekend. I mean, I know Rio goes the week before, doesn't it? Doesn't it usually? Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, if you're moving the Friday night to Tuesday night and beefing that to Tuesday and beefing that up, or Monday night, right? And you're really beefing those two up. Is the children's parade still running on Sunday? I think so.
It'll be on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why not have Rio on Friday and really do a blowout? Because they do a really great blowout. That would be an outstanding kickoff, I think, to the weekend.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Then you have one big weekend.
Yeah, great big
You're consolidating
weekend.
Your services, your Mardi Gras people coming in. That's one big weekend they can come in and spend a family Mardi Gras.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Anything
4 great
goes.
days. Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think there's an anything goes. You're hilarious, though. Aren't you cute, Mr. Bull Rider?
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I think that would be an awesome
moving
kickoff.
Rio to the Friday of Mardi Gras weekend. Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
I was going to say, it consolidates everything for you.
Did they do anything with the dog parade?
No
changes on it.
We need to figure that out, too. That's a great point.
Isn't that usually on Sunday? One of them is on. I think there's something on a Sunday.
I don't know. We got to look that up.
Maybe that's Saturday too.
With my criticisms of Mardi Gras, my daughter was the queen in one of the Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans.
See, so you do love it. You just don't like the traffic mess. So you're sweet and sour.
See, there he is kvetching about Mardi Gras. And his daughter probably rode one of those limousines that blocked traffic in New Orleans. Come on, Warren.
All right, let's take some calls. Do you guys have a couple minutes here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's get some calls in. All right, you're on Wingin' It Wednesday. What do you think about this?
I agree with Carol. I think we ought to move Rio to Friday night and have a big blowout weekend, and that way we don't have to deal with the barricades for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Spend the money moving the barricades.
That's the truth.
Boy, that's true.
I didn't even think about that. You're a practical guy. I didn't think about that.
I guess it would be, okay, and thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, we'll go to our next caller. Hi, thanks for waiting. Go ahead with your thoughts, please.
Carol hit the nail right on the head. That's why she's so smart.
Misha, I love you.
We got to move to Rio to that Friday night because you're having visitors coming into town from Mardi Gras, and they're going to have Friday night with no parade whatsoever. And also the fact now the thing that I'm upset about is you're taking away one of the nights of the parades. So businesses that rely on the parade are only going to have your parades on Saturday and Monday now. There's not. They don't have a Friday parade. That's taking a parade away from businesses that are thriving and trying to make money.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you so
and
much.
Plus, I mean, if you make it a really blowout weekend that it's a can't miss
Tourists
event,
will come.
right?
That's right.
I think you can pump it up. And I think we really do. This is one of our major events. It brings a lot of money into the community. That's why I say I'm not totally, a lot of people get really freaked out if government gives any kind of money to like festivals and to Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, those three, Festivals Al Qadian, Festival International, and Mardi Gras, are our three signature events in this town. We have a lot of other great events, I agree. But these are the three signature events that bring a lot of people into Lafayette.
And their checkbooks and their debit cards and credit cards. And
Mardi Gras alone, if you look at the amount of money spent on favors, on costuming, on dresses, on balls, on all that, I mean, you're talking about major bucks. So when I look at whatever government money is expended, the two criteria: does it benefit the whole community, and does it give me a return on my investment? And if those two criteria are met, I don't mind a little bit of an investment by government.
And is it fair to all concerned, and does it build goodwill and
better friendships? That's our Rotary motto. Is it the truth is number one.
So it's going to be up to the Rio people, though, to make their decision.
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody. I don't think anybody can.
Is there anybody that would want us, if you're in Rio and you're listening, because I know a lot of you are, but they may not want to call in. Would people be in Rio be opposed to that?
Well, let me tell you, and it's going to have to be, these crews can get very emotional about things.
Absolutely.
So they're going to need to get together and decide
and
on
really
this
think
stuff.
about it.
Yeah, right. It's up to them.
Well, and with dates probably already being picked for 2018, maybe it's,
it probably
seriously
already,
impact, so maybe not for 2018, but maybe 2019, but who knows?
Well, I mean, the thing is, they can have the balls at any time. They can have the balls at any time. This is just talking about the parades.
Yeah, but, maybe people have already reserved time or taken time off, or I don't know. So we may not hear from any folks at Rio, but I tell you what, I'm going to call them and check it out and see if, the leadership will come on for an interview and kind of what their process might be. Would they entertain the question and whether or not it would? Well, I want to thank Warren Caudle and Carol Ross for a fabulous Wingin' It Wednesday, as usual. You guys are awesome.
And you saw what happened with Smile. I want to congratulate Africa Arsenault on winning her case, because she was the whistleblower. She and Kendall Wiltz and a few others brought and Claire Taylor, I have to give her props for the great investigative reporting that she did.
That's right.
Resulting in the fact that now, HUD, which is one of the most scandal-plagued federal governments, and they came in and they pulled the funding from Smile. That should be an eye-opener and a wake-up call to all of us to keep a better eye on the federal dollars that are supposed to be helping people. And you see some of the abuses that you saw there. So,
Carol, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, congratulations to Claire Taylor on her series and investigative reporting. Claire, you did a wonderful job. Yeah.